Alright, so I thought I'd do a little tutorial for you here on some of the things to watch out for when working on these Mark I guns. First off, where the grip attaches, these screws are notorious for stripping out, so you want to be very careful when taking them in and out, because it is just soft plastic that it goes into, so they can strip out real easy. This is the gun with the extended barrel installed in it. I took the back stock off for shipping reasons. Basically, to change the barrel on this particular gun, there's a screw on this side and a screw on this side, and then you have two screws down in these holes here, which are Allen head. I believe it's a 4mm. You'll have to find out the exact size. And then this entire foregrip comes off, which looks like this. I am sending an extra one. And here is the Boneyard gun, the parts gun. The trigger mechanism is all screwed up down here in the lower receiver on this one. So that's why it's just a parts gun. This is what it looks like without the grip on. You can see I've got the screws just put in here for safekeeping. Since you have the pistol version already, I'm assuming you're aware of the basic disassembly. Just pull that out there. And then the lower receiver should, in theory, just pop off. Oh, of course it's going to make a liar out of me. There we go. So those two are separated. And of course, for reassembly, I have to put the mag in to do it properly. Lock that back, and yeah, you can see there's this piece of a, I don't know if you can see it or not, yeah, there's a little bit of spring hanging down there, and I don't know, I got this gun as just a Boneyard broken gun, so alright, so we've got this, looking at the barrel here, and there's a little tiny Allen right there, which I will be sending you the wrench for, because this also adjusts the hop-up. So you just undo that, and that's just essentially a set screw, just keeps the barrel from wandering out anywhere. Now I'll take the inner barrel out at this time, just pull that back, and I like to just lay everything out in order so it's easier to put back together. Alright, and there's the inner barrel coming out, and then the outer barrel, if I move the set screw enough, which I didn't. What's that, Allen key? It's a small screw, so you don't really want to lose it, that's for sure, but you will have an extra one. So I'm just going to take that straight out of there. Let's set that safely up there. So yeah, it's a tiny little screw. Then the receiver just turns, the upper receiver here just turns off of the outer barrel. Like so. So there's a few pieces of plastic, and obviously there's another, this mechanism here can come out. And then of course, installation of the extended barrel is just the reverse. It's all the parts are exactly the same, they're just a little bit longer, so, or well, actually quite a bit longer, 8 inches. So put all this back together, and I'll show you the one thing, the issue I ran into that I was describing to you in the emails, if you put there's a little piece on the inner barrel that if you don't have it spun just right, it will, when you put the inner barrel back in, it'll keep the gun from firing, or keep the trigger from pulling, that is. So we'll set that there. Put our set screw back in. And when you thread this outer barrel back on, you'll notice that it can only go so far, and you just kind of, it'll be a little loose on the threads, but you want to make sure that your set screw and these two are lined up, and that you can't actually see any threads by the seam there where they meet. So I'll just put that back in there. Alright, we've got the outer barrel and the upper receiver put back together. This is sitting in place where it needs to be, locked in. Now, with the inner barrel, this is where you can run into issues. You've got your hop-up mechanism here. Let's see if we can get this to focus. And you can see the little black screw in the top of the hop-up. Well, this piece here ahead of it spins around the barrel. Well, I don't know if you can see that exactly, but this edge here is rounded. That has to face down. They're rounded on either side, and both of them have to face down because it's technically sitting in the up position. So if you get this piece oriented right, you'll have the flat sides down, because of course the hop-up screw has to face up, so it'll look like this when it's sitting in the gun. And if it's turned the other way, the trigger will not pull when you put the gun back together. So that is one major thing to watch out for. And then obviously you just raise the stop here. It's kind of tricky to do with just one hand. Alright. Alright, so I got that going in. With the stop down. Let's pull that back. It's easier to do when you're not filming it. And sometimes it'll get the barrel will get hung up on the flash hider here because it supports the barrel. Alright. That got turned the wrong way. Make sure that's oriented right. Put this back in. Alright, there she goes. Alright, so that's all in place now. And then, like I said, normally, and I am sending you the instructions that come with it, and they give disassembly and assembly, but it's basically the pistol instructions, just slightly updated for the rifle version. But I've moved the hammer back, and this one's kind of messed up anyway, so not a 100% accurate representation, but I'll put this on the... You've got your hook here that has to engage in the body, and the teeth that engage in the barrel. And down. And that'll just go together there. You have to slide this plastic piece back in. That sits like that, obviously. That goes in here. Always a little tricky to get everything lined up, as you probably know. Locks this back in. Parts put together, and then just put this back on, put the screws in, put your grip on, again being careful not to strip out these screws because it is just soft plastic that they screw into, kind of a design fault on KJW's part, but that's how it is. And yeah, that's basically it. The flash hiders do just unscrew. This is the original short barrel from the working gun, which is complete and ready to be installed. It did lose the front iron sight off of it at one point, but the spare barrel has one that can, and they just pull off of there with a pair of pliers, and I had to glue the one on to the extended barrel because it didn't want to stay on very well. But this has the black flash hider in it, which is actually metal. The orange ones are plastic, and that just threads out of there. So yeah, that's basically what you probably will need to know about working on these guns.